Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Four Towers Films.
And I'm Doug 218. How's it going?
It's going pretty good. How's it going with you?
Not bad, not bad. Happy Sunday, by the way.
Happy Sunday, and happy Sunday to you guys. We are recapping Big Brother Season 23. It's week number 6.
Can you believe it's been 6 weeks already?
Well, we're at jury.
Yep.
Jury has started. I believe it's, this coming week, jury starts. Bless you.
Excuse me, guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So on Sunday, we got our first endurance competition.
Right.
And it's one that's similar to what they've done season after season. The one where you're hanging on the wall. You got to hang on for dear life.
Right.
And so Derek F., he's like, I need to win this. I want to win this. You know, need to change things up a little bit. Guess who's the first to fall?
After about 15 minutes.
Derek F. So,
well, I mean, it's not really suited
for
bigger
big
guys, and actually really not suited to guys, period, really.
No.
Usually this kind of endurance would really be more for a female, really.
Or like
a lighter guy.
Guys that are like this big.
Yeah. Or in about 4 feet tall.
Exactly. So at the 29-minute mark, Claire falls. And then she's singing, I'm okay, I'm safe till jury.
Right. Well, which is only on that 1 week at this point.
Yeah, okay. And then shortly after that, in almost like rapid succession, Sarah Beth.
They were saying at the time stamps when they fell, but it was some of them were pretty close.
Pretty close, and it was like Sarah Beth was next after Claire.
Yeah.
Then it was Hannah. Oh, the besties for life. Sarah Beth and Hannah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Kai fell off at the 53-minute mark.
That's quite long for someone who's pretty tall. So.
And Brittany, the perennial on the block girl, she fell 10 minutes later.
Yeah.
And for a full-size girl, you know, like she did very well to hold on. Heck.
Well, you would think she'd have some kind of strength because I believe she's in karate.
Mm-hmm. So that left basically Tiffany, Xavier, Derek X, Alyssa, and Azah on the wall. Now Tiffany's thinking, okay, I gotta hold out longer than Alyssa.
Right.
Because she's not figured into, you know, that framework as she put it, that for the cookout to get to the end.
Well, flashback to cookout, yeah. So she wants her to fall first.
Nope. And, you know, it kind of flashed to a diary room vignette, and she's like, I'm looking over at this girl going, dang, girl, just drop.
Didn't happen.
Didn't happen.
Tiffany actually fell first.
Tiffany fell. Then Azah fell next. And it left Alyssa, Xavier, and Derek X on the wall.
Right.
So here's where it begins. The promises of promises. I'm not going to put you up. Right. I'm not going to put you up.
Yeah.
And Alyssa's like saying to Derek, hey, look, dude, I'm not going to put you up. I promise. Neither you or Hannah.
Right.
You guys are fine. Derek X is thinking to himself, I think I want to win this.
Right.
Because I want to do a big move.
Right. Well, and one that not necessarily the rest of the house expects.
Mm-hmm. So and meanwhile, Xavier's over there thinking, when would be the best time to kind of toss this competition? Or
he doesn't want it.
He doesn't want it. So just after making this deal or making this pitch to him, Alyssa falls.
Right.
So Derek and Xavier on the wall. Xavier saying, hey, baby D, I'm not going to come after you. You know, you keep me safe. I'll keep you safe. Derek X is like, fine. Xavier drops. Derek makes the HOH. Now he's a 2-time POV winner and now a 1-time HOH. The target's getting just a little bit bigger.
Yep.
So, Hannah's plan basically this week, as she told in the diary room, is I'm going to be in Derek's ear all week till I get what I want to have happen.
Right.
And what she wants to have happen is Sarah Beth to go.
Right.
And conversely, Sarah Beth wants Hannah to go.
Right. Because neither one really trust each other. Because, Sarah Beth's worried because remember all last week, she was pushing to get Hannah on the block and out the door.
Now,
not knowing she's part of the cookout.
Now, here's the funny part. Okay. Xavier takes Derek aside and says, listen, man, I want to kind of, I appreciate you kept me safe, but I also want to keep me safe and all the kings safe.
And this was actually just moments after everybody had fallen to Derek X1.
So we get another vignette of the diary room, and Derek is like, no, brother, this is not the BB Diner. You can't come and re-up and add stuff to your order.
Yeah.
No. I promised you.
Right.
And I'm going to keep my promise to you.
Right. So, but that doesn't mean keeping all the kings safe.
And, okay, what's funny is that Tiffany is usually very precise with how she talks.
Right.
Precise with her thinking. Very careful. But she did such a rookie mistake. She's in the room with Derek X, Hannah, and she kind of let slip that there's a Royal Flush Alliance.
Hannah didn't know that.
Hannah didn't know. And Derek's trying to not draw too much attention, but then you get another shot of the diary room where he's like, what's wrong with you? You just told her about the alliance. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
And then Hannah kind of says in her own diary room, I'm just going to take that. I'm going to file that away.
Yeah, the information and potentially use it another time. And she actually went and spoke to Tiffany. What's the Royal Flush?
That was funny as heck. So,
which I do believe Tiffany told her.
She did tell her there's an alliance.
Yeah. She tried to play it off that it wasn't a real alliance. It was like just for 1 week or something.
Yeah, the air quote alliance.
Right.
And we all work together to achieve a goal.
Yeah.
Hannah's kind of got the look on her face like,
yeah, she didn't believe it.
Whatever. Whatever. So Derek's still trying to figure out what he's going to do. And he literally talks to everybody about being a pawn. And the consensus and the statement going out of everyone's mouth was no.
Yeah.
So ultimately, when it comes to the nomination ceremony.
Well, because he was debating on who he wanted to nominate.
Yeah.
And, a lot of them just kept saying, Brittany, because she'd been up before, blah, blah. And that's not who we wanted to target.
No.
And he did talk to some people about it.
Yeah.
About who we want to target. Not everybody thought it was a good idea.
No. And I just love everyone just emphatically, no, I'm not going up. I'm not going to be a pawn. Sorry. Even Brittany's like, how many times can I dodge the dang bullet?
Right.
I've been up 3 times. Eventually, people are just going to pull the trigger on me.
Right.
So ultimately, when he does the nomination ceremony, Sarah Beth and Brittany are nominated.
Right.
So we jump in.
That's not his target.
No. His plan, which we learn, is that he wants to backdoor Christian.
But he didn't want to give him the opportunity to play because Christian's he's won 5 competitions.
So you got to take him out of the equation.
And he's worried that Christian's going to hit him before he gets a chance to hit back. So that's really why he did it.
Well, because both of them are like phenomenal players.
Compies.
Okay, so
they've each won by 50% of the comps so far, really.
So basically, it's You know, Sarah Beth runs into Kylan's arms, all upset. Brittany runs off. She's crying. You know, and then so we get the camera shifts and the Kings are sitting down and they're all talking smack.
Because they don't know.
They don't
why they're doing
understand.
this. Why is it going after a king?
You know, so Sarah Beth gets this idea. You know, fine, you're going to put me up. I'm going to make you as uncomfortable as possible. Now, he's sitting kitty corner to her.
In the HOH room.
In the HOH room. Now, she's got on like the big highway patrol sunglasses.
Well, the ones she got, I think, that are heart-shaped.
And she sits down opposite of him. And he's looking at her. She's staring straight ahead.
Right.
Not saying a darn word.
Like for a long time.
For a long time. And eventually he just has a freak and he goes, okay, listen. You're not the target. Okay? You're just a pawn. I have a backdoor plan for Christian. So her thinking is, yay, I'm just a pawn. I'm okay if I can come down. If he has to go, he has to go.
Well, because she understands probably the best way to be decide how luck would be Christian. And I mean, it makes sense, his reasoning that, I mean, Christian is a compies. Yes, he's part of their alliance, but I mean, eventually he's going to have to go.
Okay, so after he kind of spills his guts to Sarah Beth, he goes and sits down with the Kings. Now he's got to try and convince them why he's doing this. And he more or less spins this story to the Kings that Sarah Beth is the pawn, Brittany's my target, and I thought it would be better if I did it this way than putting two jokers up.
Right. Although they don't really quite understand why.
They kind of looked at him and went, okay. They didn't get it, but I guess they kind of believed him.
Well, he had kind of an explanation of why he didn't want to put two jokers up.
And it was pretty convoluted, really.
It didn't really make sense when you've got that big of an alliance. Like, you're supposed to have this big alliance backing you. Why you're so worried about the jokers, kind of thing. Something like that. They didn't want Azza and Big D mad at them or something along. Because it really would come down to they were the only two jokers left.
Yeah.
So something like that. And they're like, okay.
Okay, well, this is all going on. Alyssa and Claire take SB aside and say this. We get picked. We'll use the veto line. We know who the target is. You know, we're going to keep you safe. You're one of us. That's what we're going to do. So then we get around to the veto competition. So it's Derek X, Brittany, Sarah Beth. Now, if it couldn't have been, it was so skewed to Sarah Beth's favor. It was Alyssa, Claire, and Kylan were all picked.
Yeah, most of the Royal Flush.
You know? So it's kind of like, if it was actually Brittany that was going to go, she would have been screwed.
Yeah.
So, basically, it's like a gym, like an 80s gym kind of setting.
Yeah, very 80s themed.
So
we were dressed kind of aerobically in the 80s style.
The girls were in the unitard and the tights.
Yeah.
The guys were in like the shorty shorts and the tube socks. So they had to do so many stations, do so many reps in a certain allotted time. And the first one out, so if you lost, you'd have to say you were first. You'd have to go and empty out locker number one. And so
it's basically about one where they get prizes or punishments, and then one is a veto, and you can like trade up to whatever you want, like including the veto.
Okay, so we get started, and the first one out.
Well, if they're on a spin, like the veto competition, they have to spin on this thing.
and
The ones who got the lowest amount, like with time, how many, like they'd be doing like the different aerobic type butt wiggle spinny thing and something else, I think, but then the one at the lowest would be out.
So the first one that was the lowest was Claire.
Right.
So
it's just like saying I'm an AI specialist, not like an aerobic kind of person. So.
And I'm safe till jury, so
right. So she didn't care.
And so she was out first. She had to go and empty out locker number 1. And in locker number 1 was the power of veto.
And a fanny pack.
In a fanny pack. How very 80s. So they move on to the next set that they had to do. And the one with the lowest reps again was Sarah Beth.
Right.
She goes, empties locker number 2. She wins $5,000. So, now she had, she could have switched it out
for
the veto, but she kept the money because she figured she knew she was going to be safe.
And she also still had a couple others still in the competition.
But
and that didn't sit well.
Alyssa's like, hey, wait a dang minute.
Why are we expecting us to do here?
Yeah, you have a chance to take the veto, but you kept the money?
Well, see, Sarah Beth's also thinking Brittany's still in it.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, Brittany's going to take the veto from me. Somebody's going to take it. Probably Brittany's going to take it from me. So I'm going to keep the 5,000. Why? Like, that was basically her reasoning. I can't really fault her for it because she's right. She was the second one out. Brittany's still in it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
okay, we move on to the next stage. The one with the lowest reps is Kylan. But meanwhile, Big D up in the balcony, he's like, I am liking what I'm seeing with Kylan doing those reps. Ooh, boy, he was digging that. So he was the third out, so he won a unitard punishment.
Right.
Which he swapped with Claire.
Yeah.
So Claire got the unitard punishment.
The unitard punishment was the Duke of the Deck.
Duke of the Deck. We'll get into that.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, you only heard the name at this point.
That's what I mean. We'll get into what that is later. So Kylan's got the POV now. We move on to the next one. And our HOH was the lowest one. So Derek X pulls a jackass costume as his punishment. Now he's thinking, well, you know what? I'm going to swap it for the $5,000. Sarah Beth loses her mind and starts crying and starts that.
She's like, please don't take this from me.
And Baby D's got that kind of look.
He swaps for the veto.
He swaps for the veto.
With Claire. So now Claire's got that one.
The jackass costume. Okay.
I know Kylan. Sorry.
Kylan's got it. Sorry. Yes.
Kylan. She switched it with Kylan. So Kylan's got it now.
So the next to drop to have the lowest reps is Alyssa. Now her prize was she gets a smartphone and a laptop.
Right.
If she is able to still be in the competition or in the house at certain points, she can, 1, get a phone call.
Right.
And if she makes it to jury or past jury, she can get a video call.
Right.
Beauty prize.
Mm-hmm.
And the one that beat Alyssa was Brittany.
Yeah, so Brittany actually won.
Brittany won.
And she obviously took the veto.
But her prize she pulled was the Lord of the Latrine. So she's like, nope. Walks over to Derek and goes, here you go, buddy.
Well, what's funny is Derek knew. So he just kind of went, oh, and handed her the veto. It was funny.
So before the power of veto meeting, Derek feels he's got to unburden himself. Why?
He wanted to tell them what he was thinking.
But here's my thinking. Shut up. You're playing a good game.
Well, he wanted to tell Alyssa, and I mean, why? That's like Christian's closest ally.
That's his number 2, dude. Shut up.
Like, you think she's going to be happy about it?
So we get a cliffhanger ending on Wednesday.
Right.
So when we come into Thursday, they do the...
They didn't even do the veto meeting on Wednesday.
They just... right there. So when we come in, Brittany stands up. Like, you get the whole interaction with Derek and Alyssa.
Well,
Alyssa scurries off and tells him.
Well, in the weight room, Derek wants to talk to Alyssa, brings Alyssa in, and tells her his plan is to put Derek up, or put Christian up. And of course, she's like, "Why would you do that? You know, he's part of our alliance and all this kind of stuff." So that bit of a heated discussion. Xavier came in. He found out. They're also trying to talk him against doing it because it's a bad idea.
Yeah.
And it looked like he's listening, you know.
It looked like the kicked dog.
You know.
All the big kids telling him what to do. You
know, but it looked like he was listening kind of thing. However, when we get to the veto competition, or the veto ceremony meeting,
Brittany stands up, says, "I'm out. I'm off."
Christian, by the way, now knows.
Yeah, and
they told him, and he tried to talk him out of it.
And so Christian's PO'd. He's PO'd about this. It's like, you know, this a dumb game move for him. So Brittany comes off, Chris goes up. Now, remember.
And Derek's reasoning is because you'll take the shot at me, and I need to do it first.
It's going to, exactly. It's going to come down to it. One of us has to fire the first shot.
Yeah.
I played a better game to get you out of here first.
Yeah. Even though Christian said to him, "I'm not going to do it," and Derek's like, "You say that now, but of course you will.
Of course.
I'm your next biggest target, or your biggest competition is me. So of course you will." Okay. I just did it first.
So now you remember we said that a few of them got unitard punishment.
Right.
Okay. Claire is the Duke of the deck. So every time that the BB King announced, she has to play 52 card pickup by herself.
And she's dressed in like a big giant card kind of costume with like a Joker's hat and a tiara. So it really should be like the Duchess of the deck.
Which is what we kind of said back and forth.
Or the Queen of the deck, you know.
And so Kyland, who also got the Jackass costume, is actually called the Jackass of Clubs. And anytime that the king announces over the loudspeaker, Kyland has to go make clubhouse sandwiches for everybody.
Mm-hmm. All week.
All week. Mm-hmm. Now, I remember I looked at Four Towers here, and I'm like, when he said, "I don't even know what a clubhouse is." You've never eaten at a diner or a restaurant that has a clubhouse sandwich on the menu? It's pretty standard in a lot of places.
Popular, yeah.
So his first round took him, 45 minutes, maybe an hour to do sandwiches?
Or longer.
Or longer.
It took him a while.
He goes, but once I figured out what I was doing, I got the hang of it, Really?
Well, he just had to cook the bacon, had to cook the meat, all that kind of put together. I mean, 9 sandwiches?
Okay, before I did my current job, I did work as a cook. So there's a lot of components to it, but
it could take a while until you get the hang of it,
which, as he said, once I knew what I was doing, I was able to. Took him less time. Now, our HOH, the Lord of the Latrine. So after the competition, the bathroom, the toilet was locked. So because Derek X is the Lord of the Latrine, everyone has to come to him and say, "I need to use the bathroom."
Right.
Derek goes, unlocks, announces,
with the horn.
Blows the horn, announces, that Lord Christian is now using the porcelain throne, or Lady Tiffany is now, and he looked so thrilled. And it was for 24 hours.
That was just 24 hours. The other two are for a whole week.
Okay, so
At least he only has to do that for 24 hours. I mean, that's any time of the day. He was in bed, and Tiffany woke him up to go to the
I need to go
bathroom.
pee. And he's like, now? But Hannah used it to her advantage, because she's like, it's the only time I can talk to him
Right,
is if I drag him up because I have to go to the bathroom.
right. And sometimes Kylan was going like every 5 to 10 minutes.
It almost seemed like he had a 2-year-old bladder.
Well, that's what Derek said. We have a toddler bladder.
So
Or was he just doing that?
you never know.
Never know.
Tiffany talks with Christian, and she's like, I'm really shocked that you're here. And Chris is like, well, I'm kind of concerned about you and Claire. She's like, baby, why? He goes, because she kind of gave me that goodbye hug, after I found out I was nominated.
Yeah.
So they're talking about how many votes he needs, and he thinks he has Big D, Brittany, Alyssa, Tiffany, and Claire.
Yeah, enough.
He thinks he's got more than he actually has.
Right.
So
And Tiffany knows this.
Tiffany knows this, and she's kind of upset that they're kind of lying to him, and but Tiff, here's the thing: it's Big Brother.
Part of the game.
It's part of the game. I don't got to be truthful to you if you're on the opposing side of the fence.
No.
Guess what? I'll tell you whatever you need to.
Of course, and they've been doing that all along.
Yeah.
So why all of a sudden now do you have a problem with it?
Yeah, and that's the
You
thing.
know?
It almost like she has that attack of conscience.
Yeah, because someone on her team.
And she goes.
That's what it is.
So she goes off, and she goes to she tells Britt and Big D that they need to tell Christian, that the truth, or she will.
Well, she's more or less saying that it's Brittany, that she's not the swing vote.
It's
she
Brittany.
wants Brittany to take the blame for it. He actually needs 3 votes.
Yeah.
So why are you just wanting to put it on Brittany?
So okay.
That's still just 1 vote.
Well, you've seen it. We saw it for a while. Like, there's seeming to be like cracks forming in the cookout,
Mm-hmm.
and this power move that Tiffany's done by kind of forcing things really kind of kicked the crack open a little wider.
Right.
And Big D is like, he goes, you know what? I don't work with bullies. I don't have bullies talk to me that way, and I'm not
talking to Asa about it.
talking to Asa, and Asa's like, hold it together. We got a good thing going. He's like, no, I don't want to even be a part of this cookout riots if I got to deal with that. And he goes, there's only 2 people that I answer to, my mama and God, and she ain't either one.
Yeah, I don't actually blame him, because, how she's talking to them.
She's
it's
been a bully.
Controlling everything.
Yeah.
And like you said, we're supposed to be working together and not having her tell us what to do.
So, because things didn't happen in the timetable that Tiffany wanted, she goes and spills the truth to Christian. The votes you think you have, you don't have. You really you're really in the weeds. And he's like, well, maybe if I do this, I can swing them. She goes, well, okay, maybe let's put it to work, because she's thinking maybe it's good, maybe it's the thing I need to keep him in my team.
Right.
So it's like, okay, she goes to work. She's talking to Claire. She talks to Xavier, and they're like, okay, let's really work this.
The Claire agrees to vote to flip
it.
and vote to keep him.
So Tiffany's like, okay, I want to get Brittany in this HOH room, and I'm going to really work her. So, she says to Christian, go get Brittany. She ain't got the courage to come and get her herself.
Mm-hmm.
She says, the dude that's on the block next to her,
Go get her.
go get her.
Yeah.
So he comes in and says, "Hey, look, Tiffany wants to talk to Brittany in the H2H room." Before you could say, cafe latte, Big D looks at us and goes, "Let's go."
Well, because how he said he wants to talk to you.
Yeah. Only you.
And that's what I think Big D didn't like.
Yeah. And he's like, no, we're coming.
Yeah.
So they go all trucking on upstairs, and as soon as they walk in the door, Tiffany's best laid plan got shut down.
Was with them too.
Well,
yeah.
Tiffany's best laid plan got shut down quick.
Well, because I guess because, and Big D kind of told us in the diary room, and it's kind of true. He's seen how she's been with Brittany.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want them for bullying Brittany or trying to make her do something or she doesn't necessarily want to do all that. So, and like you said, we're supposed to be all this together, right?
So let's
talk. Matter if we're there or not when you talk to Brittany.
And she's like, no.
Because she wouldn't talk to her with them there.
No. And what does she do? She goes scurrying down to Xavier and Big D and Ozzy walked in there with Brittany, and they're like bodyguards standing there with her, and it's like,
yeah, and she didn't like that.
You're a thug. They don't like bullies. They were up there protecting a friend.
That's right. Because to think about it, they really were her only real friends. They've stuck by her and
matter what. Yeah.
From the beginning.
So we go to the vote. And it comes down 7-2. Christian goes. You can see he was kind of sad. Planted a big passionate kiss on Alyssa as he.
And some of them are shocked. It's what, have you not been paying attention? That these two are on a showmance. Okay.
Over the head.
Yeah.
So he goes out, talks to Julie. He goes, I understand why you did it. I would have done the same thing if I managed.
Well, he said he was going to.
You go. He was just upset that how it went about, that he got exited, but he understood it.
Yeah, well, because he said he was going to hit
him
anyway,
himself. Yeah.
So.
Then we learned about
a new twist.
The
high roller room.
And it's a room that opens up that we as the viewing public can vote to send money to our favorite house guests in denominations of 100, 75, and 50. And you can gamble. It's like betting games, and you could gamble, win a new power, win safety, whatever. But
they can actually get a second veto.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that they could win, but she didn't go in. The room hadn't been open yet at this point.
No. And we don't even, and that's.
They hadn't played veto at the end of Thursday's episode. Or at HOH at the end of Thursday's episode.
So we got Christian getting voted out and learning that we, the public, would now have an opportunity to influence the game with the high roller.
That's right.
So what do you think of the week?
It's pretty interesting. I think, like we said, it was actually a smart move on Derek X's part to put up Christian and get rid of him. Because he knew it's not, yes, we're in the same alliance together, but yes, it's a big alliance.
Oh, for sure.
So,
we got to thin the herd a little bit.
Yeah, it's, yes, you need numbers to get to the end of the game, but it's still an individual game. So you still have to think of yourself too. So, there isn't, at least at this point, that many that have won too many competitions except Christian and Derek X. So, and like Christian said, he was thinking of doing it himself, getting rid of Derek X. So he just shot first, and he knew he couldn't wait too long to do it.
Or he'd never get him out.
Because they knew Jory was coming.
Yeah.
And at that point, usually, and a lot of you never get him out. But and then a lot of times you'll see in other seasons that's usually when they start picking up the strong players is at jury. So you want to do it as quick as you could before before Christian made the move first.
Exactly.
So I mean, I thought it was a good move on his part. It was good to see him actually break from the bigger alliance and do what's best for him, not just what's best for the alliance.
And really, that's a lot of what I kind of wait for in this show is that do what's best for you. Break away from the bloody herd, and take out that alpha male.
Right.
Write your destiny. Write your ticket, because that's always what they talk about: writing their resume.
Right.
Derek X is writing his resume.
That's for sure.
You know. I'd be interested to see if he survives next week.
We'll have to see who wins HOH.
And
who they nominate, who their target is.
But like I said earlier in the episode, myself, I want to come clean to like Alyssa because I would have kept quiet.
Well, yeah, I mean, it really didn't make a lot of sense.
It didn't make a lot of sense.
I mean, that's Christian's biggest ally, so I don't know really why he thought that was a good idea.
No.
I guess part of him wanted to kind of soften the blow or something. I don't know, but
it just caused a whole whirlwind of like headache, really.
Yeah, well, because the rest of the people were thinking, why are you going after your own alliance? Why are you going actually after the royal flush?
Yeah.
When you still have, there's a couple of aces left and there's a couple of jokers left. Why are you going after the royal flush?
So to me, that was kind of a dumb game move. But all in all,
yeah.
I liked the week. I liked seeing that side of Big D. You know, it makes me like him even more.
Yeah.
As an individual, I hope he makes it far. Whether he will or not, that remains to be seen.
I know he's got the cookout team with Azza, and it's a pretty strong alliance. So it'd be nice. Because the one thing I do like about both Azza and Big D is they're pretty loyal to their friends.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's not just their alliance, because Brittany was part of the Jokers. It's partially that, but it's also that's their friends. So it's nice that they stuck with that. I mean, they could have just gone, oh, well, I like you, kind of like Xavier said. But, cookout comes first kind of thing. And they didn't like that. So, and I'm glad that they were like that.
Exactly.
So that's why I do like Azza and Big D. So out of the cookout, I'd like to see either of them win, to tell you the truth.
Me too.
Just because of that. I mean, I know Tiffany's playing strategic game.
But she's playing too hard. Really.
And Hannah, but she's kind of alienating people. And Hannah's being very smart, too, about it. But I don't know. I just like that part of Big D and Azza.
And I agree.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for joining me.
Hey, thanks for having me.
And thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed this week. Next week started tonight for week 7. And we hope you will join us next week when we recap it. We hope you enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And hit the notification bell so you know when you go live every Sunday for Big Brother Season 23. See you next week, guys.
Have a good week, guys. Bye.
Bye.